The title of this video lied because there's no way one man could capture everything Moon got wrong in his video. Like millions of others, the YouTube algorithm recently served me this Moon video with a scary thumbnail, and it might be one of the worst YouTube videos I've ever seen, and oh my god, he made 2 of them. Moon seemed to be confused about the topic at times, and in several instances the information given was just flat out wrong. If I had to describe the depth of his analysis, Splash Park is what comes to mind. Now, we all understand YouTube is primarily about entertainment. Most videos are not some deep think piece, and that's fine, but it's not okay to have blatantly incorrect information in videos when you have millions of viewers. It's also just lazy. Give ChatGPT and Google a break and hire some good writers. Moon's content is such depressing, mopey bullshit about the collapse of the West. I think his channel might be Russian propaganda funded by Moscow. Let's look at some of the things Moon messed up. I saved the most blatantly wrong one for last.
Trust me when I say that the Vision Pro is way darker than you can possibly imagine.
This is just the first 4 seconds and serves as a big red flag. Moon literally opens by asking us to blindly trust his take. Not a great sign.
But after really digging deep into the Vision Pro and Apple's future plans, I stumbled upon new groundbreaking information that terrified me. And that's when I came to the conclusion that I do think that the Vision Pro is almost certainly going to be a mainstream product.
By groundbreaking information and digging deeper, Moon means news articles he randomly Googles in attempts to support the points he insists on trying to make.
We've all seen these images of this terrible Zuckerberg Metaverse, where the graphics are awful and there's nothing to do and no reason to even join it. And this is why the Metaverse failed to attract investors and companies inside of its virtual reality, with the Wall Street Journal reporting that the Metaverse's real estate prices decreased by 90%. In addition, companies like Disney discontinued any involvement with the Metaverse, after suggesting that the Metaverse wasn't going to bring about the virtual reality dream of Silicon Valley.
This is an example of how Moon confuses the Metaverse with Meta's Horizon worlds. I'm not sure exactly what he's trying to say here because it doesn't make any sense, but he seemed to think the failure of Meta Horizons is what made investments in the digital land of sketchy crypto projects drop 90%. He says that Disney discontinued any involvement with the Metaverse after failed investments in the space, and literally 10 seconds later uses Disney's partnership with Apple on the Vision Pro to claim that the Disney partnership is why Apple's headset will be successful.
And this is in addition to high quality brand partnerships all moving away from the Metaverse and instead joining the Vision Pro, with even Disney CEO Bob Iger saying, quote, "We believe that Apple Vision Pro is a revolutionary platform that can make our vision a reality."
Now this can be confusing for most people, which is why most people don't make videos about augmented reality in the Metaverse. The Metaverse has always been hard to define. It was originally supposed to be a digital space, eventually indistinguishable or even better than real life, but the definition is expanded to include the blending of the digital and the real world. If you've seen Ready Player One, this is a virtual reality centric vision of the Metaverse. Apple Vision Pro is an augmented reality centric vision of the Metaverse, where instead of entering and exiting the Metaverse, it will always be around you. The digital and the real world blending together. Apple is trying to build a Metaverse. They want to control what could be the most lucrative tech ecosystem ever. Meta wants to do this as well with the Quest. Many different companies are trying to build a Metaverse in the hopes of controlling the Metaverse. Disney investing in the Vision Pro is Disney investing in the Metaverse. They are just focusing their investments on Apple's vision right now. Moon confuses Meta, the company formerly known as Facebook, for the concept of the Metaverse. Mark Zuckerberg would be proud, but this is wrong and betrays his poor understanding of the topic.
And this is where the real dangers begin. I mean, augmented reality by itself has a lot of massive problems, but that's not even considering how it's going to interact with AI and other advances.
So Moon, what problems does augmented reality have? Oh, you mean the terrible dystopian problems you made up and chose to focus the video on? Do you have any actual evidence these are problems? Then for some reason he brings artificial intelligence into the story. Moon, this might be hard to believe, but technology is not inherently evil. His fear of technology seems to very loosely mask his fears about people. Listen to how dumb this sounds when I replace the word augmented reality with a less scary word like the internet and AI with tools. The internet by itself has lots of massive problems, but that is not even considering how it's going to interact with tools and other future tools. It's not wrong, the internet has problems. It's just a really simple, fear-based take on technology. When you take away the buzzwords, it exposes how little substance this video has.
And don't just think this is going to happen in China and Russia. This will happen everywhere.
Ooh, this is scary stuff that Moon makes up. He should write sci-fi novels, but they would be super depressing. So let's go along with this and pretend both the actual and his imagined worst-case scenarios for China are going to happen everywhere. What will Moon Google to back up his point this time?
So why would any government or corporation like Apple stop stop there. I mean, this was shown with a survey conducted by the Cato Institute, who asked 18 to 29-year-olds whether they would support or oppose the government installing surveillance cameras in every household as a means to reduce domestic violence, abuse, and other illegal activities. In other words, 24/7 constant observation in your own house by the government. And the results were terrifying. Nearly 1 in 3 said this was a good idea.
While the results of this small sample size study is disturbing, how does this demonstrate that what happens in China will happen in the West? Is a third of the population between ages 18 and 29 going to topple democracy and install an authoritarian communist government? And what the hell does this have to do with the Vision Pro anymore? It's just the ramblings of a madman.
I mean, as I've already mentioned, Apple has let the FBI have access to any iPhone they want in America.
And this could not be more wrong. This was the blatantly wrong piece of information that bothered me enough to make this video.
Wrong, sir. Wrong.
Even the headline Moon shows does not back up his own. It's true that the FBI asked Apple for help, and as usual, Apple declined. The FBI ended up hiring a private company that was able to break the security on the iPhone and extract the data they needed, so this one was never fought out in court. But Apple refused to cooperate with the FBI, an extremely unpopular decision given the person they were protecting had committed a mass shooting. Apple did the same thing in 2015 after a terrorist attack in San Bernardino. The company was willing to spend millions of dollars in court defending their customer's right to privacy, even when that customer had murdered people. Apple has always refused to give the FBI access. So thank you, Moon, for your factually incorrect, fear-mongering, paranoid tangent on the Apple Vision Pro, augmented reality, and AI. We are all more misinformed, dumb, and depressed having watched it. I get the YouTube aspect of this. The Vision Pro just came out and is getting clicks, so the video is centered around that. Fear keeps people watching, so sprinkle in government surveillance and how the free world will become China. Now really juice the appeal and mention AI a couple times, a scary actor that will only be used by those with bad intentions. One of the main points of the video is how the Vision Pro and AI will lead to a government-controlled surveillance state where they influence and warp everyone's information. Well, Moon, millions will now have a warped view of these subjects thanks to your trash take on it. You managed to accomplish creating the dystopia of misinformation you fear, and you did not even need AI, Apple Vision Pro, or the scary future to do it. Before I watched Moon's video, I made my own on the Vision Pro and how it truly will change the world. My video looks at some of the benefits, the important problems Apple will solve, and the massive impact it may have on society. It takes a lighter, less paranoid view and pokes fun at some of the potential dystopian outcomes. Click the end screen to watch it. It won't have a million views, but no tinfoil hats required.